The future of I-DLE is hanging in the balance, and all eyes are on Cube Entertainment as they navigate one of the most critical moments in their history. With the impending expiration of contracts and the uncertainty surrounding the group's future, the tension is palpable. Will I-DLE renew their contracts and stay with Cube, or will they take a bold step toward independence, leaving Cube to fend for itself? Let's dive deep into the situation and explore the factors at play. I-DLE has become the crown jewel of Cube Entertainment, a company that has struggled with mismanagement and controversy over the years. From the departure of iconic groups like 4 Minute and Beast to the scandals that rocked their roster, Cube has faced a string of challenges. Yet, I-DLE emerged as a beacon of hope, a group that not only revitalized the company's image, but also brought in substantial revenue. The group's success has been largely driven by Soyeon, the leader, primary songwriter, producer, and creative mastermind behind their hits. Soyeon's influence is so profound that it's hard to separate I-DLE from her vision. The potential departure of I-DLE from Cube would be more than just a loss of talent, it could be a fatal blow to the company's stability. Cube's stock prices could plummet, and investor confidence might wane. The company has already faced backlash for its handling of previous artists, and if they mishandle I-DLE, it could spell disaster. Soyeon's contract is set to expire in November 2024, a few months before the contracts of the other members. This staggered timeline gives Soyeon significant leverage in negotiations. If she decides not to renew, the domino effect could lead to the entire group leaving the company. Fans and industry insiders alike are speculating about what Soyeon will do. Some believe she could use this opportunity to negotiate a deal that grants her more creative control and financial benefits. Others think she might choose to leave and start her own company, where she can continue to create without the constraints of a traditional agency. It's no secret that Cube's track record with artists is less than stellar. From the controversial departure of Hyuna and Dawn to the mishandling of Soojin's scandal, Cube has consistently shown a lack of foresight and sensitivity. The way they handle I-DLE's contract renewal could either redeem them in the eyes of fans and investors, or further tarnish their reputation. The situation becomes even more complicated when you consider the bond between the members of I-DLE. They've shown a united front throughout their careers, and it's hard to imagine them continuing as a group without Soyeon. She's not just the leader, she's the heartbeat of the group, the one who shapes their sound, their image, and their brand. If Soyeon leaves, it's unlikely the other members would stay behind. But let's say hypothetically that Soyeon does renew her contract. What would it take for Cube to secure her loyalty? For starters, they'd need to offer her unprecedented creative control. Soyeon has already proven that she's capable of producing hits and managing the group's artistic direction. Allowing her even more freedom could lead to even greater success for I-DLE. Financial incentives would also need to be on the table. Soyeon has made Cube millions, and it's only fair that she receives a significant share of those profits. However, there's another scenario that fans are buzzing about. What if Soyeon decides to leave Cube and take the rest of I-DLE with her? Starting her own agency would give her complete creative freedom and allow the group to operate on their own terms. This move wouldn't be unprecedented in the industry. We've seen artists like Psy and Zico successfully establish their own labels after leaving major companies. If Soyeon follows a similar path, it could lead to a new era for I-DLE, one where they're no longer bound by the limitations of a traditional agency. Of course, starting an agency isn't without its challenges. It requires significant financial resources, industry connections, and business acumen. But if anyone is up for the task, it's Soyeon. She's already shown that she's not just a talented artist, but also a savvy businesswoman. From producing music to managing the group's image, Soyeon has proven time and again that she knows what she's doing. Let's also consider the other members of I-DLE. Yuki, Minnie, Myeon, and Shuhwa are all incredibly talented in their own right, but their futures are closely tied to Soyeon's decision. If Soyeon leaves, they might follow her, especially considering the strong bond they've cultivated over the years. It's not just about loyalty, it's about recognizing that I-DLE's magic comes from their synergy as a group. Without Soyeon, that synergy might be lost. There's also the question of what Cube would do if I-DLE leaves. The company has struggled to replicate the success they've had with I-DLE, and losing them would leave a massive void. Cube has other groups, like Lightsum and BTOB, but none have the same level of impact or revenue-generating potential as I-DLE. If Cube loses I-DLE, they'll have to rely on new debuts or other existing groups, but the chances of finding another group with the same global appeal and commercial success are slim. Cube might also try to salvage the situation by investing heavily in another group or launching a new one to fill the gap. But as we've seen before, lightning rarely strikes twice. The K-pop industry is incredibly competitive, and it's becoming harder for companies to produce groups that can achieve lasting success. Cube might end up pouring resources into a new project, only to find that it doesn't resonate with fans in the same way I-DLE did. This situation is reminiscent of what happened with other companies in the past. Look at SM Entertainment and how they've struggled to maintain the same level of success with groups after the departure of iconic members. Or consider how JYP managed to bounce back after losing major talents. Cube, however, doesn't have the same depth of resources or roster to rely on. Their entire future might very well hinge on what happens with I-DLE. Fans are also deeply invested in the outcome. I-DLE has a dedicated and passionate fan base that has supported them through thick and thin. The fans want to see the group thrive, but they're also wary of Cube's ability to provide the right environment for that to happen. The fear is that if I-DLE stays with Cube, they might be stifled creatively or overworked, leading to burnout and dissatisfaction. On the other hand, if they leave, there's the risk that they might not have the same level of support and resources that a big company can provide. It's a classic case of risk versus reward. Staying with Cube offers stability, but at the cost of potential creative limitations. Leaving Cube offers freedom, but comes with uncertainty. It's a tough decision, and one that the members of I-DLE will have to make carefully. Whatever they choose, it's clear that they have the full support of their fans, who are ready to follow them wherever they go. In the end, this situation highlights the complexities of the K-pop industry. It's not just about making music, it's about navigating contracts, dealing with management, and making strategic decisions that could make or break careers. I-DLE is at a crossroads, and the path they choose will define the next chapter of their story. So what do you think? Should I-DLE stay with Cube, or is it time for them to strike out on their own? Let's discuss it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates on this developing story and all things K-pop. Beyond the immediate implications for I-DLE and Cube Entertainment, this decision could set a precedent for how K-pop artists approach contract renewals in the future. If I-DLE successfully negotiates terms that grant them greater creative control, or if they decide to leave and flourish independently, it could inspire other groups to reconsider their relationships with their agencies. This could potentially shift the power dynamics within the industry, leading to more artists taking control of their own careers and redefining what it means to be a K-pop idol. On the other hand, if Cube manages to retain I-DLE with a deal that benefits both parties, it might signal a new era of artist-agency cooperation, where companies are more willing to accommodate the needs and desires of their artists to avoid losing them. This situation is more than just a business decision. It's a pivotal moment that could reshape the landscape of K-pop. As fans, we're not just watching a contract negotiation, we're witnessing a turning point in the industry,